I want to show you a tool that I use and a technique called mind mapping, and this helps with a lot of creative processes. Let's suppose you want to come up with an idea for a clothing line, or come up with maybe some graphics or a theme that you want to use, or even assembling a team, and there's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle. Mind maps will help you to extract the information from your brain and put it onto paper or onto the computer and organize it in a way that you can see more clearly. Here I'm going to show you my favorite tool. It's called MindNode, and it is for the Mac. There are many different type of mind mapping programs, so if you just research mind maps or mind mapping tools, you'll find one that works for you. The process is going to be the same. The tool or the software may be different. Let's say I want to start a clothing line, and there's a lot of ideas I have about all the different elements of it, and I just want to kind of get it clear so that I can start to communicate it to other people. So what you want to do is give yourself a time and just start brainstorming, maybe 10 minutes, and write everything down that you can think of. And then we'll go through a process of editing and grouping it together to categorize. Okay, so here we go. So my line, the way this software works is you have a box, and then you can create more boxes and type in information, and then you can join them together. So I will create a few empty boxes, and then I'll start brainstorming. Okay, now let's start brainstorming. So first, I will say I want to do women's. I want to do wovens. I want to do pants, tops, jackets, skirts, spring, holiday, definitely fall. And I want it to be based in Los Angeles. I want to sell in USA. I have boutiques that I want in Miami. I have New York, San Francisco, and Chicago. And I want to form a corporation. I think I need a trademark. I have a logo that's already kind of preset. And you see how I'm just flowing? I already ran out of space, so I need to create more spaces, and then we can organize afterwards. I want to do embroidery, garment dye. My price points are going to be high-end. And sample size, my size range, it's small to extra large. I want it to fit very, very well. My target customer are moms, kids, and they live in the cities. Professional women, smart, college educated, income of 100,000. Now it's time to organize. So I'll take all of these ideas or boxes and organize them kind of by category. So let's see, women's, wovens, pants, tops, jackets, shirts. That's pretty much type of garment. So I'll put that here. This is going to be season, and the whole thing is titled My Line, so I could make this larger. And then let's see, USA, so it's going to be domestic, and then we have cities. This is going to be intellectual property, so that's under legal. And size range, fit, so this is it's for moms with kids, so this is about my customer, city dweller. Let's see, this is about customer. They have college, their income, they're smart. Okay, so that's all about my customer. This is about the company, employees. So here's team, sales rep, and this is about sales, online store. So now I'll further organize this into categories. Here we start to organize these into categories. So you see design, I have embroidery and garment dye or design elements, and then we go over to product. So women's, wovens, pants, tops, jackets, skirts, and it's a higher end product. And then we look at seasons. So I want to definitely do spring and fall, and I also like the holiday season. So far we have those three. Location, I want it to be domestic to start, and the key cities are Miami, New York, San Francisco, Chicago, LA. And then we go into legal. I want to form a corporation. I need a trademark. I also want to develop a logo. And then you see talking about the customer here, which is very important. Who's the target customer for the product? And then we talk about sales and team. What type of personnel do we need to have in place in order to achieve our goals? And then we end up with finance and funding. So now the beauty of MindNode is that once you have these categories, you can drag the boxes here into the main heading and it'll create nodes. Now you don't have to do it this way, but there's some advantages to it. So I'll connect all of these nodes now to the main node, and it kind of creates this like spider looking type of diagram, and then I can move this around. So I'll connect all of these. Now that we have them connected, we can organize them and tighten them up a little bit. This is a feature that MindNode has. So I'll select everything and then reorganize nodes, and it makes it tighter. And now I can reorganize. Now that we have them organized and color-coded, we can clearly see how our idea plays out. And once you have this first draft, you can go back and revise. And one of the things I like to do is make sure I've answered the key questions. Over here I've added some questions in boxes. So does it answer who, what, when, where, how? If you look at who, that would be customer, and what, you look at the product and design, and when goes back to the season, and then where would be location, so that's USA, and then how, usually the how you might not know and it's not as important in this phase, but one how could be how I'm going to sell it, and that would be here, online showrooms, boutiques, markets, and an online store, and then how also could be you'll achieve it with this team. And the most important question is why. So before we start any of this, it's important to understand why you're doing this. And then the last thing I have set up are these boxes here, ABC 1, 2, 3, yes, no, and it helps you to prioritize some of these. So let's say you want to add an A to some of the most important pieces. So I will just copy this A, and I would say the most important thing for me to focus on would be product. So I can put an A here, and customer, understanding the customer, and the funding piece. And then the B would be my team, and the numbers, the finance. Actually, I'm going to make finance an A. Funding is important, but I also need to know my numbers, so I'll make that an A. And then I'll put a B here under sales. Sales are very important, however, it's first, we'll place the priority on the other pieces, and then once we have those in place, then we'll look at how we're going to sell it. So that's just an example of how you might start to map out your idea. And again, you can use this for a lot of different things, not only your line or a specific part of your line, where you're going on vacation, how you want to plan out your health and your diet and your meals or your year. So mind mapping is a great way to get your ideas out of your head and onto paper so that you can gain some clarity. I hope you've enjoyed this, and let me know your feedback. If you love it, if you hate it, if you have suggestions to make it better, or if you have any questions. Thank you so much.